Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to Street Fighter V. This video is going to be a little bit different to my normal Street Fighter V content because in this video I'm going to be giving a little bit of a guide slash tutorial, and the topic of this little guide is going to be Dhalsim's V-Trigger 2 Yoga Sansara. I wanted to talk about this V-Trigger ever since Arcade Edition came out because I think even if it's not the strongest new V-Trigger, I would say it doesn't particularly elevate Dhalsim to a whole other tier or all that. It is for sure the coolest V-Trigger. I love what Capcom have done with this thing. They got really creative, and yeah, I think it complements Dhalsim in this game perfectly. They really got what Dhalsim is all about in Street Fighter V with this V-Trigger. Yeah, it's definitely one of the coolest. Alright. So what does Yoga Sansara do? Well, you hit the trigger and you get this little orb. If you hit this orb with Yoga Flame, it travels forward and you can combo from it and all that. However, the true application of this move is not about combos. If you're expecting to get like huge 400 damage combos from this V-Trigger, you're gonna be disappointed. It doesn't make Dhalsim into Abigail. What it does, however, and it's the reason why I think this is really unique, there's no other move like this in the game, is that it is actually a space control tool. Not in the way that a normal projectile is, not like a Hadouken or all that. It almost works like, and this might be a comparison that will make some people salty, it almost works like Dexter does in Injustice 2. Where you have this thing out and your opponent is basically in respect mode. As soon as you get Yoga Sansara out, especially when you hit it, your opponent is gonna be either doing two things: trying to dodge in and move in and hit you, which is very difficult, just blocking, or running for their lives. That's actually three things, but you get what I mean. The amount of panic and respect, God damn, why am I feeling this combo? There we go. The amount of respect this V-Trigger commands is second to none. Mainly because it is a constant source of harassment. Now, I'm just gonna show the different versions of what you can do with this move. First of all, you hit it, it just travels straight. This one has a few uses. One thing I love to do, and this is not necessarily a thing that actually is real, but okay. Do have to mention that the fireball, when you send it out, doesn't last for very long, so you have to hit it fairly quickly. I love doing the sweep slide underneath. When you do this normal one, you can almost think of it as like Guile's really slow Sonic Boom. You can advance behind it, or Ed's V-Trigger. However, Sansara is a lot better because not only can you change its direction mid-flight, see, you can hit the air one again and make it go straight, and you can hit the ground one again, which is fairly difficult because you need very crisp instant air gales, but you can hit it and you can change its directions. Second of all, unlike Guile's Sonic Boom, Yoga Sansara has 5 hits. And again, like I said, unlike Ed's V-Trigger, you can actually control where it goes. However, I would say the ground one is not the best one. The best version of Yoga Sansara is the air one. Because when you hit it in the air, it does kind of like a zigzag pattern. And this zigzag pattern is what gives you true space control. It also depends, its trajectory also depends on how high you are off the ground when you activate it. If I do a full jump and activate it here, it's gonna travel differently to when I do it almost instantly, which you can do. There we go. See, this still counts as an air one. If I hit it like that, it's gonna go like this, but if I hit it like that, it's gonna bounce. And you see the trajectory is different than when I hit it from way on high up. The EX versions behave a little bit differently. You do the ground EX version, it's gonna travel upwards. What you can do, and forgive me, this might take a few tries, you can teleport after it, and if you don't suck like I do, you can hit it back onto the ground. The EX Air version, it just has quicker startup, which I actually need to do the EX scale to show you. It just kind of fires out quicker, but the trajectory itself is not different. It flies kind of more straight, but it's still gonna bounce off the ground. So those are all the versions of Sansara. Really, the one you want to do is this, the air one. And you wanna advance behind it. Now, the real reason this V-trigger is really strong is that it has 5 hits. I think the opponent can dispel it. However, the unique thing about it is if you hit it with another Yoga Flame, the timer or the number of hits it has is gonna restart. So you'll see like the really crazy high-ranked Dhalsim players like, God, what's that guy? He's like 3rd rank or something. You know who I'm talking about. It's like YHC something. You can see he does some crazy shit, constantly instant air galing. It's bouncing all over the place. It is insane what you can do with this V-trigger. And even a noob like me, you can control space very effectively because you can do drills behind it, you can do teleports behind it, you can throw out a lot of projectiles. As you can see, that does decent damage. Another thing I found which is pretty useful, if you send it out, you can actually do your full critical art charge. As you know, you can charge Dhalsim's critical art, and protecting yourself with Yoga Sansara is one of the best ways to actually get that charge, which is almost impossible to get normally. So those are just some of the uses for it. Other things, you can do it out of teleports. So you can cancel your teleport into Yoga Sansara, and you can actually stay in the air for fairly long because you can go with like a V skill into teleport, into Sansara, into Gale. Yeah, you can hang in the air for a fairly long time. And let's make it go straight if I don't suck. I think you can also, you can combo the anvil from it and then go into your, you know, classic high damage Dhalsim combos. Just some of the things you can do. So yeah, what I showed you here was just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many things you can do with this move. I think it's worth mentioning just in a few sentences how to counter it. Unfortunately, when Dhalsim is full screen and he does it, there's not much you can do. Some characters have an easier time dispelling it. Akuma's red fireballs work fairly well for dispelling it. Of course, characters that have reflect abilities can reflect it, so it will bounce back and hit you if it hits like an Aegis reflector, or if it gets hit back. I think Abigail can punch it back, if I'm not mistaken. So you do have to be careful with that. However, if it bounces back, you can hit it again, and it's going to be on your side once again. So you can play ping pong with Yoga Sansara. However, the most effective way I've seen to counter Sansara is if the Dhalsim does it up close like this. The easiest method is just to walk into it. That's what most people do. If you see, I just do the normal one. It does 50 damage. Basically, this thing sucks if you don't power it up. And the most common strategy, again, unless the Dhalsim does it full screen, where it is fairly difficult to stop, it is to just walk into it and hope for the best. Hope you guys try this V-trigger. I honestly think if you do play Dhalsim, this is something you should be exploring. I genuinely believe that this is his go-to V-trigger now. The other one, the Flame Carpet, is still decent. However, Sansara complements Dhalsim's toolkit a lot more. It allows you to do a lot of shit that you wouldn't normally be able to get away with. For example, if you think your opponent is going to counter your teleport, oh yeah, you can go and do resets from it, because if you see, it does bounce off, so you can do, although you know Dhalsim isn't about the resets, but you can do some stuff with that. I think that about covers it. Again, what I showed you here is just the tip of the iceberg, because there are a lot of cool stuff, cool shit you can do with this move. You can, oh yeah, I was kind of in a weird position there. You do have to mind like which side you're on. but again, this shows some things. Maybe that was a little bit close, but if I hit it like this and go into a sweep, you can actually make it go behind your opponent, and yeah, you can do some crazy stuff with it. Again, if you're a Dhalsim player, you owe it to yourself to try this thing out. It's definitely more difficult to use than is V-Trigger 1, however, it does provide you with a lot more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little kind of discussion video slash tutorial on what to do with Yoga Sansara. There's gonna be more Street Fighter videos like this in the future. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.